Good afternoon, everyone. If I can have your attention, please rise for the arrival of the official party and the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please take your seats. Good afternoon. On behalf of the United States Navy, PEO Team Submarines, and the entire Talent Pipeline program team, welcome to the 2024 Virginia Talent Pipeline Project Signing Day celebration. My name is Kevin Barto, and I have had the privilege to lead the Virginia Talent Pipeline Project for the last 2 years. The Signing Day celebration is the culmination of the Talent Pipeline program year. Today we are here to celebrate our progress made over the last 2 years, and as it states in our mission, we have had to build a team to do it. While we are here today to celebrate the employers and those new hires starting careers in the industrial base, We could not have done it without the facilitators and training providers that have supported them and the TPP team. As you will see today, the progress this team has made in the last 2 years has been nothing short of momentous. This journey started in this very room on July 12, 2022, when a group of employers confirmed to the Navy that talent acquisition and retention is a major barrier to increasing their capacity, and they were willing to do something different to overcome and accomplish the mission. Since then, this project has grown exponentially. Last year at the 2023 signing day on June 7th, we had 19 hiring employers announce 218 hires. Just shy of 1 year later, I'm happy to report 165 of those new hires have or will very soon make it to their first year anniversary. And 14 of those 19 hiring employers have retained 100% of those new hires or only lost one. This year, we are standing here today announcing 57 hiring employers with 1,266 new hires. Since July 1st of last year, over a 500% increase. What a huge achievement. So you may be asking yourself, what changed? How did we get here? Simply put, we listened to what the employers said, and the employers trusted us. Based on the feedback from last year, the biggest improvement to the program was the installation of the network groups and the network coach. As we all know, life and success are all about the relationships that we create. We knew as we continued to grow that we could not compromise that. So we broke the employers up into network groups and assigned them a network coach. These coaches have worked closely with each employer to understand their specific operational circumstances, help them think through the challenges differently, develop tools, and implement solutions. Also, as any great coach does, they bring the team together and create those bonds between teammates. Each network has met multiple times this year to share best practices, lessons learned, and explored new solutions to current challenges. During the course of the year, we have seen remarkable things come out of these events. But I believe the biggest impact is that a true team has been created. When we can get passionate industry leaders in the room together, focused on a common mission, one comes to realize that they are part of something bigger than themselves. And when that happens, the bonds and the relationships created foster the environment for a high-performance team that is necessary to accomplish this mission so critical to the defense of our nation. If Admiral Papano was here today, he would describe the Talent Pipeline Project as the connective tissue in the defense industrial base. It is through the connective tissue that we are able to connect the muscles to the bone. It is through connective tissue that we are able to work together to form a fist instead of 5 individual fingers. And it is through connective tissue that we will be able to deliver the knockout punch to those who would threaten our very way of life. Or as Admiral Caudle put it last year, to ensure that our service members never enter a fair fight against the enemy. Today you will hear from representatives from the Navy on why the talent pipeline is so critical, from a new hire, a veteran of the United States Army that takes pride in being able to continue to serve his country, and from employers who have done the hard work to improve their talent acquisition and retention systems to run a better business and increase their capacity to the Navy. Before any of that, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Joe Barto, Program Leader for the United States Navy Talent Pipeline Program. A 1978 graduate from the United States Military Academy, Joe began his journey of building high-performance teams in 1973 when he was recruited to play basketball at West Point under a brand-new coach who would later become the most winningest coach in Division I NCAA basketball history, Mike Krzyzewski. Drawing on his experiences as a West Point cadet, an Army basketball player, 20 years as an officer in the United States Army, and another 20-plus years of running his own high-performance team, Joe has led the TPP team from 6 employers sitting around a table in Philadelphia in April of 2021 to over 300 employers 3 years later in 7 regions across the United States. It is my privilege to invite to the podium my leader, Joe Barto.
Well, dang, Kevin. Thank you. Thanks for everybody for being here. First, again, a family affair, as most of you know. That was my daughter-in-law who sang the national anthem. So thanks to Bethany for doing that. But more importantly, she's the mother of my 2 grandchildren, so that's a powerful thing. Also, thanks to the Kecoughtan High School and the Color Guard. What a tremendous professional job those young men and women did today. This room is a testament to the difference that the Talent Pipeline program has made on our home court. Our company is here in Hampton Roads. And the second year of the program, I had to convince Matt Sermon that if we're going to do this in another place after Philly, we're coming home. And you guys have performed on that unbelievably over the last 2, as Kevin talked about earlier. So I'd like to say congratulations to the Virginia Talent Pipeline Program team on behalf of their sponsor, Lisa Radoka, who's out of Virginia Tech today for the graduation of her son. This was a tough cut on whether or not she was going to come here or go there, but she probably made the right choice. But she did recruit one of her battle buddies in Washington to come and speak to us today. I'll talk about that in a minute. So this is spring is wedding season. At the Talent Pipeline program, spring is signing day season. So today was the lead-off signing day in Hampton Roads. Next Tuesday we'll be up in Pittsburgh. On the 23rd, the 21st, we'll be in Long Island. On the 23rd, we'll be in Philadelphia. And then for the first time ever, we're going to have our national signing day in Boston in conjunction with the Boston signing day, when we're going to bring all representatives of the other 4 flags to Boston to celebrate the conclusion of this year and the kickoff for our 25-26 cohort. So Kevin talked about the tail of the tape for the Hampton Roads flag. Let me just give you a little feel on where we are across the program. First year we were in the program only in Philly. We had 24 employers, hired 295 new hires, and kept 165 after 1 year. About a 63% first-year retention rate. Second year, adding Hampton Roads and Pittsburgh to the program, we had 75 employers, hired 905, and have kept 615. So that's about 65% right in the same group. This year, the third year of the program with 5 flags, we have 241 employers that are on track to hire a little over 2,500 employees, and 2,100 of them are still in their companies. We keep score. We know whether or not we're winning or losing, but more importantly, 241 employers are reporting that this program has made a difference in their company. When you look at in the previous years, we've let every employer come to the podium. This year we couldn't do that with 293 employers coming. So in your QR codes is the yearbook for this year. And in the yearbook, each of those employers has a testimonial. If you want to feel the emotion of this program, you just start reading some of those testimonials. Many of them are represented here today. But that's really what this program is about. It's a relationship between the Navy and the Defense Industrial Base that's making a difference. Also, every year we go through a strategic planning cycle. And when we started this program, we had 5 strategic planning assumptions. As we started to think about after Philly, how could we roll this out? And I'd just like to go over them real fast because it's the foundation of the program. The first planning assumption was that the Navy demand for the Defense Industrial Base is going to extend at least through 2040. I think Mr. Meyers, who's the executive director for the carrier program, is probably going to come to the podium and say that's a little bit shortfall. It's probably longer than that, specifically with the addition of the AUKUS program. And across the fleet, we're looking at a significant increase in the demand over the next 20 years, at least at a minimum. The second planning assumption is that America's economy is at full employment today. If you're in the business, you know that between 3 and 4% unemployment means fundamentally that anybody in America who wants a job can have a job. That's what this program is about, because when you're in a competitive environment for talent, and as Whitney Jones talks about, we're in a war for talent. The way you win a war is you got to go and be able to find the people and convince them to join your company. The 241 companies have done that. They've reached out, they've connected. They understand that talent acquisition is a contact sport. They're not sitting back and waiting for somebody to walk in their front door. The third piece, and this is really important, is that when we started this program, we knew it had to be about small and medium-sized businesses. Why? Because 80% of the capacity of the defense industrial base comes from small and medium-sized businesses in America. Unfortunately, when you talk about these big programs, they're often the companies that are ignored. So this program, when we started with Matt Sermon, Admiral Scott Papano, was we focus on the smalls. We focus on the 20-person machine shop, the 100-person shop, the 300-person shop, the 400-person shop. And those are the people that are carrying the weight every day of the defense industrial base. However, assumption number 4 is that the talent acquisition and retention responsibility is solely the responsibility of the employer. This program is a teach you how to fish program, not fish for you. And every one of these companies that's represented today has said, first, I need help, will you help me? And when they got the help, they did something different, they got better. That is the power of the first time really since World War II that the United States government is investing in a program that traditionally is the sole responsibility of the employer, yet are seeing a difference when we give you this help. The fifth is that the model works. This model of having a regular rigor of kickoffs and signing days and mid-year reviews, bringing people together on a regular basis to connect with each other and share with each other, that model works, and we're going to retain the integrity of the model as we grow. And last is that this program's not going away anytime in the near future. The Navy's made a commitment to this program, that this is a long-term program for many years in the future, which gives us great comfort that you don't have to, we're not going to let you die on the vine as we move forward. So we have approved, again, this April, the 25-27 plan. And so last Friday, we were in Southern California, and we did the demand signal roundtable meeting on the 26th of April in Newport Beach. And so we're going to be planting a flag as the Navy approved the flag in Southern California. The 7th flag is going to be an enterprise flag for large organizations, and 2 of them are in the room today. Fairbanks Morse Defense, Trident Maritime Systems, have decided corporately that because the experience had such an impact on their individual plants, that they've decided to roll this out across their entire business, reversing the relationship of instead of us doing it for them, they are taking the lead with our support. Huge accelerator as we go into the national rollout. And then finally, because of the success of the program, we now have a national reach. That means any company, anywhere in the country, if they ask for help, we're going to help them. And big change from last year that now we have confidence enough in the program that we can accomplish those strategic goals. I want to quickly introduce the official party on the stand. And I start with next to me is from Newport News Shipbuilding is Tom Cosgrove. Tom is a special relationship because part of the founding of this program happened in 2017 when we program managed the program at New Horizons Regional Education Center called the Good Life Solution. Newport News Shipbuilding was the sponsor for that program. And so we really have Tom here to represent Newport News Shipbuilding, and has been a huge supporter of the program from the very beginning. So Tom, thanks for being here. Next to him is from the other shipbuilder, General Dynamics Electric Boat. I first met Jess Key at the May 2021 meeting at 77 Low, I think, on Navy Surface Warfare Center, Philadelphia. And one of the magics of this program is you either get it or you don't in about the first 3 minutes. I think it took Jess 30 seconds to figure out that this program had legs. And she's here representing coming out of the supplier world. She now has taken over the responsibility for workforce development and supplier development at General Dynamics Electric Boat. So Jess, thanks a lot for being here. Next to her is Lisa Papini, who is the president of Aircraft Carrier Industrial Base Coalition, one of the major associations here. When that's a huge part, when the associations recognize the power of the program and they recommend to their employers that they should be involved, that's a huge validation of what we're doing. So not only them, but SIBC, MMA, and most of the major associations. But Lisa has a special place in our heart because she's also the president of Dante Valve, and in a little while we'll be walking across the stage as one of the employers from Hampton Roads, but also one of her plants is in Southern California, and she's a part of that program. Next to her is the Command Master Chief, and developed a great relationship. Being a retired Army officer, I always have to have my senior non-commissioned officer that keeps me out of trouble. And I think that's Command Master Chief Jeff Hiscocks. You'll hear from him later on today, but he also is representing the PEO, Team Submarines, and also the Submarine Industrial Base. So thank you. Thank you for everybody that's here today, the employers, the training providers, facilitators, the Navy, the PEO for Strategic Submarines, for believing and demonstrating that when we work together against a common mission, this program is what is right and good about American manufacturing. Once again, American manufacturing is answering our nation's call to arms. And you should be proud of your accomplishment. So finally, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker today. I just met Justin Meyers last week on a Zoom call as he was, when Lisa went to Virginia Tech, she called me and said, what do you think about bringing the carrier guys in? And of course, when you're a sub guy, you get all like kind of weird about that, you know, that you're bringing in the carrier guys. But Justin and I met on a Zoom call. So if Jess got it in 30 seconds, I think Justin got it in 15 seconds. And so we're really proud to have him talk as we start to understand that the defense industrial base is a lot bigger than we ever envisioned it. Justin is also a surface warfare nuke, which is kind of a special category. In 2010, he transitioned to the civil service. You've seen his bio on the program. But since 2022, he's been the executive director of the aircraft carrier program. And we couldn't be more proud to share the podium with Justin Meyers. So Justin, welcome to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me, and thanks, I guess, with Lisa. Thanks for letting us aircraft carrier crash your traditional submarine party. I appreciate it. But no, thanks, Joe, so much for the invitation. I know Lisa Rudoka is sad she couldn't be here, but as she mentioned, her son is graduating from Virginia Tech today. A very, very proud day for her. But I do want to thank you for the invitation and the ability to be here for this, be a part, not just today, but going forward, of this amazing workforce and training development opportunity I think, hearing some of the statistics and some of the discussions we've had with Joe last week, it's really eye-watering what the collective has been able to do in a pretty short time. And to that end, it really does take a village to build a nation and maintain our Navy. For aircraft carriers, that's more than 2,000 companies across 44 states that is required to supply the parts, equipment, and services. And so that's why this moment could not be more crucial for the movement that unites industry, academia, regional and civic leaders, along with an exceptional cadre of workers and employers just waiting for the opportunity to do great things for our nation. And please make no mistake, we need every maritime supplier and shipbuilder across the enterprise to engage in the growing and needed stabilization of our industrial base, our workforce, because the maritime domain has never been more uncertain or dangerous. You've all seen the headlines. For our aircraft carriers conducting combat operations in the regions that are hot and volatile, defending the free flow of international commerce, supporting economic and national security of our nation's partners, and deterring aggressors across the world. Right now, 4 of the nation's aircraft carriers are underway. USS Eisenhower has now been deployed for more than 200 days in the Red Sea and is back in the Red Sea after a brief port visit in Suda Bay. This marks more than 5 consecutive months operating in the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, and the Arabian Gulf under a constant barrage of attack. The USS Theodore Roosevelt, a ship I once proudly served on, and her carrier strike group is underway today in the South China Sea. The USS George Washington recently completed a complex overhaul at Newport News, is underway and headed for the Southcom 4th Fleet AOR for Operations Southern Seas 2024, and eventually to her new home port in Yokosuka, Japan. USS Ronald Reagan, the nation's only forward deployed aircraft carrier, departed Yokosuka, Japan on Sunday in advance for her upcoming 6-month patrol. These ships remain the centerpiece of our fighting force because of our skilled and dedicated workers and the companies that recruit, retain, and nurture their enterprise and the pride of being part of the enterprise that is bigger than themselves. In a moment, I'll introduce Admiral Caudle, but first I'll share you the challenge that he delivered last time at this event last year. Complete maintenance and modernization availabilities on time, on cost, and to be flank speed at building the necessary capacity and output from our public and private shipyards. In other words, as the Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Franchetti, says, it's all about putting more combat-ready players on the field. It's about generating the necessary combat-ready forces to support our forward operational commanders, while ensuring additional forces are standing by the ready to surge and support operations if needed. Our mission at PEO Aircraft Carriers supports this initiative. We deliver aircraft carriers on time, ready for tasking at affordable costs. But delivering readiness depends on having the right workers with the right skill sets in the right positions in the right numbers when needed. To the companies who have signed on to this endeavor and the workers who have completed or nearing completion of a challenging year, thank you. In closing, as you embark on this new adventure, I will encourage you to think about 3 things. First, be passionate about your work. In August of 22 at Newport News, we celebrated the keel laying of the USS Enterprise CVN-80. At the keel laying ceremony, Katie Ledecky, who's the ship's sponsor and 3-time Olympian, was on hand and shared her mantra and her keys to being a passionate professional: endurance, fortitude, and consistency. This Friday, Katie will receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom the highest award a civilian can get from the U.S. government. Yet on that very hot day back in August, in the dry dock, she recognized the shipyard workers and the nation's industrial base workers as the nation's real heroes, who she said work in very difficult and all-consuming jobs where things are created and built, and where our health, our society, and our freedoms are protected. By helping to keep our military strong, Katie said, you are helping to keep our country safe. So I encourage you to be passionate about your work and to do as Katie does in her races, to take the lead and keep the lead. And in her training, she says there are no shortcuts. Second, be knowledgeable and be generous sharing your knowledge. Build relationships. This is a perfect venue and avenue for things like that. Take time to celebrate the victories, which is what this signing day is really all about, and encourage each other along the way. And third, be a lifelong learner. Ask questions, especially if you're not clear on the goal. Clear guidance accelerates decision-making, which helps programs and people move forward. And remember to keep the big picture in mind, and remember the why. Because the brave road that you are all about to travel on is vital to national security and ensuring the safety of our sailors and Marines and the ships on which they sail into harm's way. The defense and freedom of open maritime domain in the face of unbridled aggression is a mission made possible only because of courageous men and women like you. Be people unafraid to take on the challenging and demanding work, to apply curiosity and to harness innovation in building the world's most formidable fleet of combatants, who wake up each day with the desire to make a difference. Thank you to each one of you in this room and your families for not just only reaching this milestone, but to continuing in service of our defense. It's now my privilege to introduce a short video from Admiral Caudle, who is the commander of Fleet Forces Command. As many of you know, this command is charged with organizing, training, and equipping a force of more than 125,000 sailors and civilians, hundreds of ships and submarines and aircraft, as well as support facilities across the United States Atlantic Fleet, a fleet that protects interests around the world. In this role, Admiral Caudle is also multi-hatted, serving as the U.S. Naval Forces Northern Command, U.S. Naval Forces Strategic Command, U.S. Strategic Joint Force Maritime Component Commander. Admiral Caudle hails from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and graduated with a degree in chemical engineering from North Carolina State University. On the subject of being a lifelong learner, Admiral Caudle has also earned 2 master's degrees in physics and engineering management, along with a doctorate in management and organizational leadership with a specialization in information and systems technology. Was also a professional licensed engineer. Admiral Caudle is a submariner, we won't hold that against him, and commanded the USS Jefferson City, USS Topeka, and USS Helena. As he advanced through the Navy, Admiral Caudle has also served as Commander Submarine Squadron 3, Submarine Forces Atlantic, Submarine Forces Pacific, and Allied Submarine Command. Other flag assignments, Admiral Caudle has served as the Deputy Commander, Joint Functional Component Command, Global Strike, Deputy Commander, 6th Fleet, Director of Operations, U.S. Naval Forces Europe and Africa, and Vice Director for Strategy, Plans, and Policy, J5 at the Pentagon. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the screen for a video address from Admiral Caudle.
Thank you, Mr. Meyers, for that incredible keynote, and to Admiral Caudle for his remarks. Our next two speakers are here today representing the core relationship in our program, the new hire and the employer. In talent acquisition and retention, no one finds a job, an employer gives someone an opportunity. So before we hear from this year's new hire speaker, I'd like to welcome to the stage Shaun Wojtkowski, Plant Manager for TE Connectivity, to introduce his new hire.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank the Virginia Talent Pipeline Program for letting us participate today, also for helping us be successful in recruiting, training, and retaining our talent at TE Connectivity. My name is Shaun Wojtkowski, and I am the plant manager at TE Connectivity, and we're located in Hampton, Virginia. We make all sorts of sensors for industrial, medical, aerospace, and military applications. I'm here today to introduce one of our valued employees, Mike Ross. I've known Mike for several years now, and I first met him at our previous employer, Wojtkowski Automotive. Unfortunately, Wojtkowski closed, but we were both blessed to start at TE Connectivity in September last year, actually on the same day, September 25th. Mike is one of our assembly operators on our most complicated production line, potentiometers. He has worked his way up already as one of our lead trainers on that line. He is an Army veteran, where I'm sure that he learned many of his valuable leadership skills. We are proud to have him as part of our team. Mike is here today to share with all of you about his experience with the Virginia Talent Pipeline Program. Thank you, Mike, for sharing your experience and representing TE Connectivity today. Welcome to the podium. Thank
you, Mike. Good afternoon, and thank you for the warm introduction, Shaun. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, today I stand before you to share a glimpse into my journey marked with resilience, adaptation, and pursuit of new horizons. Again, my name is Mike Ross. My story begins with 8 years of dedicated service in the military as a transport management coordinator. I was stationed locally in Fort Eustis, Virginia. Later, I then transferred to Camp K, Germany. And then in 2005, I began 2 tours, one in Afghanistan, one in Iraq. These tours shaped my perspective and instilled in me a sense of duty and honor. However, as much as I cherish my time in the uniform, I yearned to experience life beyond the confines of the uniform, to understand what it was like to be a civilian. So, after bidding farewell to my military career, I embarked on a new chapter, finding solace, as Shaun mentioned, in the automotive assembly sector at Wojtkowski. There, for over 6 years, poured my heart and soul into my work, envisioning a future where I would retire from the company that I found to be my second home. However, fate did have other plans, as Shaun mentioned. So, with the sudden plant closure, left me and my colleagues adrift, grappling with uncertainty and questioning our next steps. So it was during this time that fate intervened once again in the form of a phone call from the Virginia Employment Commission while I was vacationing in South Carolina. And that call not only presented me with an opportunity, but served as a beacon for hope in a time of uncertainty. And through the efforts of the Virginia Talent Pipeline Program and TMG Inc., I was connected with TE Connectivity, igniting a new chapter in my professional journey. And it was during that time I was hired as an assembly operator making potentiometers, as Shaun said. Fast forward 6 months, found myself humbled and honored to serve as a trainer for assembly operators at TE Connectivity. And every day, I am driven by a sense of purpose, knowing that the parts we develop contribute to the defense of our country and our allies in the defense industrial base. But my journey doesn't end there at all. I find myself humbled and to look into a new stepping stone to pursue greater paths towards either being a supervisor or a shift lead. But I'm also intrigued by exploring further avenues, whether it's in IT or security, to help our company's broader objectives. So, in closing, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to the Virginia Employment Commission, the Virginia Talent Pipeline Project, TE Connectivity, and TMG Inc. for this opportunity and their unwavering support and believing in my potential. And it's through everyone's unwavering support that I stand before you today, ready to embrace the challenges and the opportunities that lie ahead. So thank you once again for allowing me to show a little snippet of my journey. And together, let's forge ahead through the power of resilience and the pursuit of excellence. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Outstanding job. As I mentioned earlier, this is truly a team effort. Without the training providers and facilitators, our progress this year would not have been possible. Will our facilitator partners and our training partners please stand and be recognized? Can we all give them a warm round of applause? So now we're moving to the main event. In this next portion of the program, we will hear from 4 of our network lead employers who will speak on behalf of the employers in their network. After their speeches, we will invite each employer partner and their new hire representatives with them here today on stage to be recognized while we announce their first year anniversaries from last year's cohort and their new hires for this year. Employers will receive a plaque in recognition for their hard work and dedication to recruit, hire, onboard, and retain the critical teammates needed to increase the capacity of the defense industrial base. The new hires will receive a challenge coin. Challenge coins serve as a symbol of membership, belonging, camaraderie, forging a strong bond among those who possess them. Additionally, they are used to acknowledge an individual's achievements, dedication, or exemplary service, and serve as a tangible reminder of the appreciation and respect of their peers and superiors. Receiving a challenge coin is a great honor, as it signifies that the recipient has played a special role, making a significant impact on their peers and the organization as a whole. The challenge coins presented here today are to commemorate the new hire's decision to serve their country as a member of the Defense Industrial Base. May it serve as a reminder that you are part of something bigger than yourself, and that your chosen profession is noble and critical to the defense of the United States of America. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome to the stage our first network coach, Danny Barto.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Danny Barto, and I am the network coach for Network One. This year, we have a total of 17 hiring employers announcing 383 new hires. Out of 17 hiring employers, we have 4 employers in their second year of the program that are pleased to announce 15 new hires from last year that have reached their first year anniversary. Employers in our network this year have focused a lot on how do we build high-performing teams that recruit, hire, onboard, and retain the best talent around. I've been very proud to be in this network of teams on our team with the VTPP program. We truly are a team of teams, and I'm very proud of the relationships that we've built this year. Our lead employer for Network One is Fairbanks Morse Defense. Fairbanks Morse Defense is in their second year of the program and is a founding partner in the Enterprise Plus flag. meaning that they have decided to implement the program in all 14 sites in the country. FMD is happy to report 20 new hires this year from their 2 service centers located in Chesapeake, Virginia and Jacksonville, Florida. Please welcome to the stage for his remarks, Executive Director of Strategic Accounts, Bill Berger.
Thank you, Danny. And as Danny mentioned, I'm an executive director with Fairbanks Morse Defense. I'm the executive coach overseeing our team for the Virginia Talent Pipeline. I'd like to start off by congratulating and thanking the new hires that we're honoring today and their families for joining our industry and helping where we have. For those that don't know Fairbanks Morse Engine, we've been making medium-speed diesels for over 130 years. But about 4.5 years ago, we spun out of our publicly traded parent company and started out on our own. And then about a year later, we started acquiring companies. So over the last 3.5 years, we've acquired 10 companies across the United States and UK, which actually Danny's information is even a little dated. We're now up to 18 facilities. So you can imagine the complexity of taking 18 entities and putting them together, trying to create a corporate environment for how do we hire and retain employees. The talent pipeline is what we needed as we came through here. So we participate in the Pittsburgh flag, locally here in the Virginia flag for our Chesapeake Service Center, and the New England flag, and then we've recently joined San Diego, and as I've mentioned, we're part of the Enterprise program. Within our network, we saw a lot of the benefits over the past year. The collaboration that we saw between the sources of training of the personnel and the hiring organizations can't be measured. As well, just as employers, the sharing between the employers of what's working, what's not working, how do we overcome the challenges that we all have, as well as the tools that we were given so we didn't have to reinvent the wheel. So we have the tools that we can work to be successful. It also forced us all to look in a mirror and ask, why are we doing certain practices? What are we doing that doesn't make sense anymore? Why are we doing the same old thing that we've always done? And then probably one of the biggest things is it brings our frontline leaders into the hiring and training process for those new hires. It doesn't leave it to be the corporate office that's trying to do everything. It's getting those frontline people. So I can tell you that Fairbanks Morse is committed to the talent pipeline program. We see how we need it for hiring and training people, and that we're also going to be engaged in that enterprise program because we want to bring this to all those locations that don't have a flag near it. So as major supporters for building up the U.S. industrial base, because we see it as an absolute requirement for our security and defense of our country, we see that this is going to be a countrywide development. There's not enough people nor space along the coastlines where we've historically built our ships for the Navy. We've got to not only get the best talent we can for those locations, we need to be able to expand to other places away from the shore, bringing more people into our industry so that we can be successful. So this is not going to be an easy journey. It's not going to be a short journey, but we certainly see the talent pipeline is going to be a key part of that journey and the success that Fairbanks Morse is going to have in moving forward and being able to be a successful provider to the U.S. Navy. Thank you.
Our next employer is ITAC Engineers and Constructors, represented by Ben Duman, Director of Operations. ITAC is in their second year of the program and is happy to report 5 new hires from last year that have reached their first year anniversary and are reporting 28 new hires this year. Our next employer is Kecoughtan Fiber Optics, represented by Dan Morris, Vice President. Kecoughtan Fiber Optics is in their second year of the program and is happy to report 4 new hires from last year that have reached their first year anniversary and are reporting 21 new hires this year. Kecoughtan Fiber Optics is a franchise employer and is reporting hires from 2 sites located in Norfolk, Virginia and National City, California. New hires with us here today are Keenan Worrell, Aaron Reed, Lisa McCauley, and Madigan Aylshire. Our next employer is Delphinus Engineering, represented by Mark Prokopios, Director of Submarine Programs. Delphinus is in their second year of the program and is happy to report 5 new hires from last year that have reached their first year anniversary and are reporting 12 new hires this year. Our next employer is Mills Marine and Ship Repair, represented by Donnie Mills, President. Mills Marine and Ship Repair is in their first year of the program and is happy to report 147 new hires this year. New hires with us here today are Tyler Van Auken, Kesha Claiborne, Ashley Randolph, and Sayana Joe. Our next employer is Bay Metals and Fabrication, represented by Shaun Matthews, Chief Operating Officer. Bay Metals and Fabrication is in their first year of the program and is happy to report 17 new hires this year. Our next employer is Carver Machine Works, represented by Lindsay Crisp, President and CEO. Carver Machine Works is in their first year of the program and is happy to report 9 new hires this year. New hire with us here today is Dawson Woolard. Our next employer, our final employer for Network One is the Hiller Companies, represented by Philip Messenger, Regional Director, Human Resources. The Hiller Companies is in their first year of the program and is happy to report 53 new hires this year. Hiller is a franchise employer and is reporting hires from 5 sites located in Chesapeake, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, Concord, North Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, and Charleston, South Carolina. New hires with us here today are Casey Klein and Graham Moore. Our next network coach is Doug Smith.
Good evening. My name is Doug Smith, and I have the privilege and pleasure of coaching network number 2 here in Virginia. And in our network, if you give me just a second to get to the right page. This year in our network, we had 14 employers with a total of 304 new hires. Out of our 14 employers, 10 of them are in their second year, and out of that we had 86 people that have achieved their first year anniversary, which is awesome. Employers in our network this year concentrated on a number of the tools that are provided to them. In many cases, they updated their value stream maps of their current state talent acquisition and retention programs and targeted further improvements to their processes to further improve their hiring, onboarding and retention of their people. They also worked popular tools this year with a world-class first day, the leader new hire retention training, improving their 30, 60, 90-day evaluations of new hires, and also developing their fifth metric scorecards. So in addition to looking at cost, schedule, safety, they also now look at their people metrics on a regular basis. Our lead employer in network number 2 is Fairlead, and we're very privileged to have Fairlead. They've been in the program since the beginning in 2021, so this is their 3rd year. They're happy to report 20 new hires from last year that have achieved that first-year anniversary, and this year they hired 46 additional people. So please welcome to the stage the president of Fairlead, Mr. Fred Pasquine.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug. Good afternoon. Personal note, I've been happily married for a little over 25 years, and my wife took a trip for the past couple weeks and will be returning on Saturday. And I found something amazing in my household is that we can survive without Amazon packages showing up. And that's been the biggest thing I've noticed, is that I can live without the daily 1 to 17 boxes arriving at our house. Because what Amazon does is good, but it's not critical. It's not important. But what we do is. What we do every day matters. That's why we get up out of bed every day. And the world can live without Amazon. Might be a struggle, but the world cannot live without the United States Navy. And it's so great to see on television the people who are building submarines and aircraft carriers and amphibious ships and crewed ships and repairing them are being honored, and what we do is important. And why we get out of bed at Fairlead is we help get the warfighter home. And if you look at this industry overall, and any of you been to business school, you wouldn't enter this industry. It's hard, it's difficult, there's a lot of competition, there's a high barrier to entry. A lot of what we do needs waterfront property, it takes a lot of capital, and so you start hearing all these things and you say, well, why would anybody do it? And it's because we're patriots. At the end of the day, that's what matters. And so Network 2, where we see patriotism the most, is in our ability to share with each other. We say our profits of our company aren't what's central. What's central is I've learned something. I want to share it with you. I hope you can learn something from it. And I hope there's something in return that you can teach me. And that's what patriots do, and that's been the pleasure of leading Network 2. For example, had this pleasure to go to Dante Valve, and Lisa Papini left. She was just sitting right over. Oh, of course she's in Network 2. And I went over to Dante Valve. I didn't know I was going to be learning about Maslow's hierarchy that morning, but I did. Learned a little something. So just wanted to say thank you to everybody in Network 2 and for our ability to share with one another. Thank you.
Fairlead's new hires with us today are Sophie Labastille, Andy Adams, David Jellison, and also Nate Aiken. And Nate is their new Vice President of Growth, and that's not the growth of the business, but that's the growth and development of people, which I think is pretty cool. So welcome aboard. Our next employer in Network 2 is QED Systems, represented by Kenneth Sigmund, the Director of Corporate Planning. QED Systems is in their second year of the program and is happy to report 3 new hires from last year that have reached their first year anniversary, and they are reporting 31 new hires this year. QED Systems. Our next employer in Network 2 is Oceaneering, represented by Dave Pest. He's the Vice President and General Manager. Oceaneering is in their second year of the program and is happy to report 37 new hires from last year that have made their first year anniversary. They are also reporting 24 new hires this year. With us today, we have Zamar Stewart. Is Zamar here? There he is. Very good. Thank you. Didn't see you sneak up. Our next employer is Collins Machine Works, represented by Robert Twine, the president. Collins Machine Works is in their second year of the program and is happy to report 11 new hires from last year that have reached their first year anniversary. They're also reporting 12 new hires this year. Collins Machine is a franchise employer representing 2 sites here in Portsmouth and also their site in Charleston, South Carolina, where they do propeller shafts for Navy ships. Our next employer is Epsilon System Solution, represented by Ed. Come on up. Go ahead, Ed. Gulasano. Very good. Thank you, Ed. And their group, Epsilon Systems, they have people in their second year of the program. They report 6 new hires that have reached their first year anniversary, and they have 12 new hires this year. Take care. Our next employer is Dante Valve. You've already met Lisa Dante Papani. She is the president and CEO. Dante Valve is also in their second year of the program. They're happy to report 4 of their hires from last year that have reached their first year anniversary. They also have 2 new hires this year. They are also a franchise employer representing 2 sites here in the Norfolk area as well as in Long Beach, California. We're also happy to have with us Marquise Robinson, representing Dante Valve's new hires. Our next employer is TST Fab and Machine, represented by Matt Hemsley, the president. TST Fab and Machine is in their second year of the program and is happy to report 5 new hires from last year that have reached their first year anniversary, and they also have 13 new hires this year. Our next employer is Technico Corporation, represented by David DeBose, the apprentice manager. Technico Corporation is in their first year of the program and happy to report 25 new hires. New hires with us today are Miranda Thompson, good. Our next employer in network number 2 is All First Industrial General Contractors, represented by James Templeton, the president. All First is in their first year of the program and is happy to report 68 new hires this year. With us today is Kyler Smith, representing their new hires. Our final two employers for Network 2 are Pegasus Steel and Metal Trades out of the Charleston region of South Carolina, represented by Matt McNichol, the VP of Corporate Development from their parent organization, Keel Group. Pegasus Steel and Metal Trades are in their first year of the program and are happy to report 63 new hires this year. We're also happy to with us today from Pegasus Steel, William Gully III, who recently joined as their Vice President of People. And with that, I will introduce Allison Austin, the coach of Network number 3.
Hello all. So my name is Allison Austin and I am the coach for Network 3. This year we have a total of 17 hiring employers, announcing 527 new hires this year. Out of our 17 hiring employers, we have 9 employers in their second year of the program that have 25 people that have reached their first year anniversary. Our lead employer for Network 3 is Advex Corporation. Advex is in their second year of the program, and they were the best practice model employer in last year's cohort. Advex is happy to report 10 new hires from last year that have reached their first year anniversary and are reporting 30 new hires this year. Please welcome to the stage for his remarks, President and CEO of Advex Corporation, Charlie Jackson.
Good evening, everyone. I tell you, these are some impressive numbers here, I gotta tell you. Advex has had the pleasure to serve as network lead for network number 3. Gotta admit, though, that I'm stumping for the most important person. Mary Mayer, our HR manager, actually served as the network lead. Mary's energy and enthusiasm really helped this be a powerful program. I am grateful for her contribution. The network embraced a mentality of progress, recognizing that our true potential lies in the future we are building together. From enhancing the first day experience for new hires with a world-class first day, training of our managers to be better leaders, and putting to use the powerful tools provided by TMG to guide our path forward. One of the most impactful endeavors has been the establishment of lunch and learn events. These events have turned into so much more than opportunities to swap business cards. They've become the beating heart of collaboration and knowledge sharing within our network. Through these events, our network has connected with industry stakeholders, including several of these who are with us today, and shared best practices and educational resources. But it's not all serious business. The network also had their fair share of laughter, especially when thrown into team building exercises that, let's just say, have had some mixed results. I mean, who knew that trying to build a paper airplane with one hand would necessitate the use of PPE? Everyone now knows that when Mary acquires you as a target, things can get a little bit out of hand. I was particularly moved by the feedback we received from a participant who remarked the genuine desire of our employer partners to help each other succeed. It's moments like these that remind us of the power of community and the importance of collective growth. In closing, Network Number 3 recognizes that by maintaining a skilled workforce, we not only empower ourselves, but also play a crucial role in assisting the Navy in meeting its objectives. As a nation, we must focus on the defense industrial base to adequately support this nation's war fighters. Our journey towards excellence is far from over, but together with our unwavering commitment to listen, change, implement, and succeed, there is no limit to what we can achieve. TMG, thank you for choosing Advex as Network Number 3 lead and helping us achieve greatness when it comes to improving our business, community, and nation. Thank you.
The Advex new hire here today is Mike Brooks. Our next employer is Trident Maritime Systems, Hampton Machine Shop, represented by Mark Waters, Director of Human Resources at Trident Maritime Systems. Trident is a founding partner in the Enterprise Press flag. Hampton Machine Shop is in their second year of the program and is happy to report 10 new hires from last year that have reached their first year anniversary and reporting 10 new hires this year. Our next two employers are Craft Machine Works and Amtech, represented by Scott Blankenship, Vice President and General Manager, Craft Machine Works and Amtech, are in their first year of the program and are happy to report 18 new hires this year. New hire with us here today is Malad Siraj. Our next employer is Helmet Aerospace IGT, represented by Andrew Lazada, Manufacturing Leader. Helmet Aerospace IGT is in their first year of the program and is happy to report 257 new hires this year. Our next employer is TE Connectivity, represented by Shaun Wojtkowski, Plant Manager. TE Connectivity is in their first year of the program and is happy to report 96 new hires this year. New hires with us here today are Mike Ross, Crystal Jefferson, Rosemary Williams, and Yuriko Page. Our next two. Our next two employers are W.W. and Rufty & Sons and Epicoat, represented by Garrett and Rufty, General Manager of Epicoat. W.W. and Rufty and Epicoat are in their first year of the program and are happy to report 2 new hires this year. Our final employer for Network 3 is TMG Inc., represented on stage by Joe Barto, founder and president. TMG Inc. is in their third year of the program and is happy to report 3 new hires from last year that have reached their first year anniversary and are reporting 4 new hires this year. New hires with us today are Chelsea Vanner, Eric Hilton, and Damon Johnson. I'll now introduce our next network coach, Dolores McMillan.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Dolores McMillan. I'm the coach for Network 4. This year, we have a total of 5 hiring employers announcing 36 new hires for this year. All 5 hiring employers are in their first year of the program and excited to continue the journey next year. Employers in our networks this year have focused on TMG's tools for the talent pipeline of recruiting and world-class first day. Our lead employer for Network 4 is Auxiliary Systems. Auxiliary Systems is in their first year of the program and has been a huge advocate for TPP since joining in August 2023. Auxiliary Systems is happy to report 6 new hires this year. Please welcome to the stage for his remarks, the President of HR for Auxiliary Systems, John Moore.
Thank you. Greetings. It's truly an honor to be here. The bad thing about being part of Network 4 is I have to go behind the first 3 speakers, unfortunately, so please bear with me. It's truly an honor to be among so many esteemed colleagues here that we work with every day. I'm truly humbled to be here. Again, my name is John Moore. I am the Vice President of Human Resources at Auxiliary Systems. It's been a year since we've embarked on this journey with the Virginia Talent Pipeline, and it's certainly been a remarkable one, to say the least. I've been with the company for 22 years, and we've went through several different aspects to improve our operations, but never one that really refined our human resource operations, right? How do we retain our talent? And that was something that we truly found value in with this program. Among these initiatives, we embrace the world-class first day, along with the 30, 60, 90-day retention program, as well as working on developing realistic job previews to attract talent. So that's been great. And especially thank you to Kevin Barto and Courtney for sitting down with us when they did the value stream mapping to help us identify, these areas of weakness that we had to identify and certainly repair. We've also seen a significant uptick in job applicants through buildsubmarines.com. So there's been a tremendous amount of value that we found through that as well. So certainly been great all around. We've welcomed 25 new team members since June of 23, with 22 of them still employed with the company, with an 88% retention rate. 2 of those folks that left us were terminated for cause for a good reason, and one of which followed his father's footsteps and joined the Coast Guard, which, if they leave us to join the armed forces, we consider that a win, right? So today we have some team members with us. I want to recognize Terry Fleming. She's, if you wouldn't mind, stand for us. She's been with us for about 6 years, and she came through a joint apprenticeship program, which through with All First, which is also represented here today. And she came through a joint pipe fitting apprenticeship program. We recruited out of high school, and now she runs our entire food cart division, where we build a product line for edible education. So from high school to running an entire division of our company, she's done a tremendous job, and that's ultimately what we're looking at this program, to continue to accomplish, is taking people from high school and turning them into, essential personnel, right? So big round of applause for Terry, if you don't mind. Also with us, we have Tony Ferguson, who joined our estimating team last October, and Jenny Bell, who joined our safety team in February. They both experienced our sort of retooled world-class first day, and we're certainly blessed to have them as part of the team. Thank you again for the opportunity to be here. It's truly an honor, and the mission continues.
Again, Auxiliary Systems new hires who are here with us today are Jenny Bell and Tony Ferguson. And also we have Auxiliary Systems President Ken Lang. Our next employer is Tidewater Staffing, represented by Jay Prock, the president. Tidewater Staffing is in their first year of the program and is happy to report 5 new hires to its internal staff this year. Our next employer is Automatic Coatings Limited, represented by Jocelyn Banford, CEO. Automatic Coatings Limited is in their first year of the program and is happy to report 5 new hires. New hires with us here today are Gary Evans, Caitlin Shepard, and Robert Allen. Photo ops, folks, photo ops. Our final employee is Workers First Clinics, represented by the president and co-founder, Courtney Zedron. Workers First Clinics is in their first year of the program and is happy to report 5 new hires. Thank you.
Wow. It never gets old. Never gets old. So I think for everybody today, I think one round of applause for everybody who participated, the new hires, the employers, facilitators, training providers. I was remiss, and I need to recognize one of my dearest friends in this program who was there from the very beginning, Pat Hershowitz from the Submarine Industrial Base. She snuck in on me here in the back, but Pat, thanks for being here. So we'll give you a seat next to at Lisa next time, so we get both carriers and subs involved. The success of this program is, I think, of because of 3 things. One, the incredible leadership we get from the Navy. This was truly an unproven idea when we started this program in 2001. So I want to publicly thank Admiral Scott Papano, who's soon to be relieved by Admiral Todd Weeks next month. Certainly Matt Sermon, Whitney Jones, who believed in an idea and believed that we could pull this together, and have never done anything but ask, how can we help? And it's not just the contract or the economic piece, but it's truly the emotional support of the program, as you've seen by Master Chief B here. This thing doesn't happen without a lot of execution, though, and the times we come together, the execution, the training, the network lunch and learns. And I am really proud to be an employer as well, as we've grown and we've had to drink our own Kool-Aid. As I mentioned in my previous remarks, we're growing. So today I'm announcing 2 changes of command. The first change of command as we get ready for next year on 1 June, Kevin Barto, who is currently the flag lead for the Virginia Talent Pipeline Program, will be relieved, and he will assume command of the super flag that will represent Boston, Long Island, Hampton Roads, all the way down to the south, to include the Charleston area for the companies that he's there. A tremendous accomplishment, 2 years of the program, and as we expand the program, we've got to continue to expand how we operate and we run the program. So I'm really proud of Kevin that he's going to be assuming command on the 1st of June. So Kevin, congratulations. So we don't have a guidon yet, or I don't know what the Navy does when you do changes of command. In the Army, we do guidons. But I'd like to call to the podium Renee McNichol. Renee, would you join me at your podium over here? So as Kevin fleets up, Renee McNichol will assume command of the Hampton Roads flag and the Virginia Talent Pipeline Program, and is responsible on 1 June for everything this flag does or fails to do.
We're not going to fail.
Are you ready to play?
Always.
I know you are. I could not be more proud to see when you put the team together, and we've grown significantly up to 55 people in my little company. But when you have a noble mission, a clear plan, and you turn that talent loose, amazing things happen. And we've proven that with all this great support. So with that, her first act as the flag leader is to announce the way ahead and introduce our final speaker, Command Master Chief Jeff Hiscocks.
Thanks,
so,
Joe.
Renee?
Yeah. So with that, I am happy to announce that next year, June 10th, 2025, Virginia will be the host for National Signing Day. So we are now moving forward to the hiring phase of the program, focusing on retention of these new hires that are here today and all of the ones that are not here today. And we'll be focusing not only on the retention of the new hires, but over the next year, the network coaches will be working with the employers to track the new hires through their first year while continuing to improve the talent acquisition and retention systems. Our goal next year is also to increase our hiring employers to 100+ employers in Virginia. In order to meet this goal, we have also added to our team in Virginia and have added Courtney Culpepper to our team as our local partner engagement coordinator. We have also added another network led by Eric Hilton to my left. Lastly, I want to extend a huge thank you to all of the partners that have participated in the Talent Pipeline program this year. Also a special thank you to Mills Marine for supporting with the photography today. I know BJ is in here, or was in here somewhere. Oh, there you are, BJ. Thank you for your support today. The team in Virginia is excited to continue our mission in supporting our employer partners to increase capacity for the Defense Industrial Base. So our final speaker today is Command Master Chief Jeffrey Hiscocks from the program of the Executive Office Team Submarine. He's a native of Iowa, and CMC entered the Navy in February of 2000 as a machinist mate. Throughout his 24-year career, CMC has served in several duty assignments in the submarine force. His personal awards include several awards in Navy and Marine Corps commendations, Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal Awards, enlisted submarine warfare insignia, and various other unit and personal awards. He has also been an advocate for the Virginia team. It is my pleasure to welcome to the podium a true champion for the Talent Pipeline program, CMC Jeff Hiscocks.
Thank you, and good evening. So Joe says I'm the closer tonight, and the program's supposed to end at 1800, which means I got 27 minutes, so I hope you're ready. I don't know if I'll take 27 minutes, but I will get a little passionate. I'll try not to yell too much, and I'll explain. I have 24 years in the Navy. I'm very passionate about what I do. I'm passionate about the Talent Pipeline program. And the reason is, before I joined the Navy, I was a machinist. I worked 4 years in industry as a machinist. I started sweeping floors. I learned how to sharpen tools. picked up understanding how to work the lathe, moved to the mill, worked on the CNC machine. So I understand your industry, and I absolutely love it, and I miss it, right? So I get when you're starting in the trades, I get it, I understand it, and I love where it is today. So I'm gonna talk to you about purpose. I'm gonna talk to you about the purpose of your job. So, good evening. What a great program up to this point. Again, if we could get all of the new hires just to stand up real quick, just so I can see who I'm talking to. Thank you. So I'd like to extend my thanks to the Joe Barto and the TMG team. Thanks for the network coaches, the Hampton Roads team, the Submarine Industrial Base team, the suppliers, the vendors. Obviously, we can't forget the Navy for footing the bill and continuing to fund this amazing program. Thanks to all the esteemed guests that are up here on the stage, and thank you to you, the new hires. This is your night. This is for you. It's because of you that we celebrate tonight. We celebrate for many reasons. The start of a new career. Maybe, in some cases, the start over of a new career. No matter the case, no matter the scenario, something exciting and something challenging awaits you. The opportunity for family-sustaining wages over the course of the next 40 years, if you desire it. A trajectory of upward mobility, if chosen. Joining a company or team that has invested in itself by joining the Talent Pipeline program. So let's talk about purpose. Purpose, finding a job with purpose. Purpose beyond what many of you have probably envisioned before embarking on the journey of joining and supporting the Submarine Industrial Base and the greater Defense Industrial Base. What is the purpose? What is its definition for what we're doing? Is it defined? That's the question that some of you in the audience are probably asking. For the Submarine Industrial Base, it's achieving and sustaining a submarine build rate of 1 Columbia and 2 Virginia classes per year for the next 40 years. Sustaining our fleet as it is, 1 Columbia and 2 Virginia classes. The way that we look at that is 1 plus 2 plus sustainment by 2028. That's our achieved build rate. That's the purpose. What is your role in achieving this? How will you contribute to achieving this submarine building cadence? Were you hired on in the trades? Are you a welder? Are you a machinist? Are you a metallurgist, non-destructive testing engineer? Were you brought in as quality control, a pipe fitter, sheet metal worker? Maybe you're a painter. Maybe you're an electrician. Or are you administrative in nature, an HR worker, an engineer, an accountant, training, safety? It doesn't matter what your position, what your title is. You are contributing to national security. You are helping the United States of America exercise power projection and diplomacy from whatever shop floor or work complex that you call your office. So how do we draw this line from the blue-collar workforce to power projection? And the blue-collar word is a little bit different. With all the upgrade, the technology, the 3D printing, the advanced manufacturing, the robotics, the cobotics, we call it the new-collar workforce. It's not blue-collar, it's new-collar. So how do we draw that line from new-collar to power projection and national security? Strategic nuclear deterrence. Our ability to project strategic nuclear deterrence comes from 3 legs, a triad, if you will. The first is the Air Force bombers. Air Force bombers are moved around the country. They move around their weaponry as needed. You never really know where they're at. It's not the most efficient way, if you ask me, but I'm partial to the Navy. Apologize to any of the Air Force veterans in the audience. Then you have the ballistic missile silos. That's the second leg of the triad. Most of them are located across the western half of the United States. Most of our adversaries know where they're at. They're probably marked on satellite imagery. They're fairly old and probably require an upgrade. Then you have the sea-based leg, the third leg of the strategic nuclear deterrent. That leg is at sea on our Ohio-class submarine, a submarine that we designed to operate for approximately 35 or 40 years. Right now, the oldest hull of those submarines are pushing 44 years. The need to replace this class of submarine is urgent. The replacement is the Columbia-class submarine. So when you design a submarine back in the 60s and 70s to operate for 40 years, and it's already exceeded its service life, the tools, parts, materials, valves, components to keep them operational, to keep them safe, to keep our sea-based leg of our strategic nuclear deterrent at sea and operational, it's becoming harder and harder to find those parts, that equipment, and keep those submarines operational. So the greatest thing about our sea-based leg is it houses what we call our second strike capability. This is what keeps most bad actors up at night. Even if they were lucky enough to plan how to take out our bombers and to take out our missile silos, they never really know where those submarines are at. Those submarines are loaded with nuclear warheads. That second strike capability deterrent, that strategic deterrent, it's so powerful, you can't put it into value. It's always in the back of our adversary's head. I could do this, I could do that, I could plan for this, I could plan for that. But what about those damn submarines? Where are they? What if they launch? Everything I do, I could plan for it, but I don't know where those submarines are. That's the capability that those submarines bring to bear. How many are there? Do I know where they're at? How can I stop them from launching, et cetera, et cetera? So why now? Why is the time that we need to replace them? Why is 1+2 plus sustainment so important? Why is the Columbia-class submarine the replacement for our current at-sea leg of the ballistic missile triad, our second strike capability? Why is it the #1 funded program in the Department of Defense? So think about that. All of you that walked across the stage tonight, right? You're walking across the stage and you're embarking on a career that is the #1 funded program in the Department of Defense, right? Building a Columbia-class submarine, contributing to the submarine industrial base and the greater defense industrial base. So when we think about that, that's important, but that's really the secondary reason. And you might be thinking, holy crap, what's the primary reason? The primary reason is 2 words. Those 2 words are not today. So I need everybody to repeat after me and say, not today. Not today. So that sucks. So let's do it with some conviction, right? Because it's important. So I'm going to count to 3, and then we're going to say, not today. 1, 2, 3. Not today. All right. Not today. This is the reason. Every day in America, right? And Mr. Pasquine touched on it a little bit. It was perfect, right? It's a perfect lead-in with your Amazon joke, right? The democracy that we live in is an amazing place. We wake up every morning, we go about our morning, we get our morning coffees, we run our errands, we go to sporting events, we go to school functions, we go to church functions, we spend time with our family, we order things on Amazon, and a service that's great. It provides instant gratification, right? Meanwhile, across an ocean, in either direction, right, there are bad actors in the world waking up every morning and they're saying, is today the day? Vladimir Putin rolls out of bed every morning and he looks in the mirror. He said, is today the day that I threaten the United States with nuclear weapons? Is today the day that I push the buttons of the American government? Am I ready to engage in some sort of global combat to which the U.S. is involved? In North Korea, Kim Jong-un wakes up and asks himself, how far can I antagonize South Korea before America will get involved? How many more missile tests directed towards Guam and Hawaii before I cross the line? Am I ready to engage in global conflict with the United States as a foe directly or in alliance with another country? In China, Xi Jinping wakes up asking whether the U.S. will respond to his continued bully-like behavior across the Indo-Pacific region. He says, if I decide is today the day that I take back Taiwan, will the United States respond, as their doctrine says? Am I ready to engage in a global conflict with the United States or its allies? In the Middle East, right, we heard it today. In the Middle East, Houthi rebels are already asking this question and answering it themselves. They are choosing to engage and fire on commercial shipping, or in some cases, American naval vessels. They're quickly finding out today is not the day, right? Our forces that are forward deployed are handling a multitude of munitions, missiles, drones, and who knows what else is being fired upon them, and in every case, they are handling business at hand. when we go back to the purpose of your job, the greater good, being involved in something greater than yourself, it is this. It is your job. It is your trade as a welder, a machinist, everything that I rattled off earlier. It is your work that forces these leaders to get up in the mirror and look and say every day, today's not the day. Today is not the day that I take back Taiwan. Today is not the day. I don't have the technology. I don't have the lethality. I don't have the capabilities to outmatch the United States or its allies in battle. Not today. I am not ready. Today is not the day that I invade or attack South Korea. Today is not the day that I threaten Europe or NATO countries with nuclear weapons. I am not ready for the consequence. I do not have the edge in this category or this capability. You see, those two words, not today, they belong to you. They belong to your coworkers, to your companies, and the 16,000 plus companies that support the submarine industrial base. This is your job for as far over the horizon as you can look. It is a heavy, heavy, heavy responsibility to provide the submarine industrial base and the greater defense industrial base with the skills, the tools, parts, materials, and workforce to ensure the Navy and the overall military, all branches, have what they need to be successful, to provide them the capability, the capacity, the lethality, technology, efficiency, consistency, and most importantly, the quality to stay ahead of our peer competitors. You are the edge that this nation relies on, and you've always been the edge. The American workforce, the silent branch of service that always answers the call. Everybody says the submarine service is the silent branch. It is the American workforce that is the silent branch of service. You answer the call when we need you the most. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're still awake, right? And I hope you're still with me. We need you. We need your friends. We need your family. And listen, we need your children. Yes, you young kids that walked across this stage, the ones that are you're just trying to figure out life. You're just like, you got your first job and you're just trying to figure out life. When you figure out like your partner in life and you get married and you're blessed with children, guess what? We want your children too, because we're going to be doing this for the next 40 years. And the engineers that are going to be designing these new submarines, they haven't even been born yet. This is a movement in history, not a moment in time. 140,000 workers over the next 40 years building Columbia and Virginia-class submarines. Think about that. By the way, we have a new class of submarine that's coming behind the Virginia. We haven't even named it yet. It's called SSNX, right? That's what we do. We don't even name it, but we're designing it right now. That's coming after Virginia. And then there's this program called AUKUS. We didn't even talk about that tonight, right? We didn't even talk about that tonight. When you think about all the opportunities, they are endless in this game. There's opportunities for everybody. So when you think about it on your way home, on your drive home after work, when you're relaxing with an adult beverage, or whatever it is that you unwind with, however you relax, right? Think about how you contributed to maintaining the American way of life by making a bad actor somewhere in a foreign country look in the mirror in the morning and say, not today. Not today, because I am no match for the American industrial workforce. You did that. Keep doing it. Tell your friends, because we need all of you. And if you have trouble remembering any of this, or you need to point someone in the right direction, we've got this pretty amazing website called buildsubmarines.com. I don't know who came up with the name of it. It's pretty simple. buildsubmarines.com. It'll tell you everything you need to know, and it'll point you in the right direction. So whether you wear a uniform or a prior service veteran in any branch of the military, you're a civilian, you're a government employee, a contractor, you're an influencer in today's society, right? We need your voice. We need your help. When you step back and you look at what the Talent Pipeline program has accomplished in the last 4 years and how far we spread across the country and how fast, with more growth planned it's really easy to look at the companies involved and review the data and see the improvements made in one or all 4 categories that they focus on: recruiting, onboarding, hiring, and retention. What's really great to see for me, after just being with the program for a year in these organizations, companies using the tools provided to them to become better places to work, providing better environments, investing in betterment of their employees, which results in personal and professional development of just better human beings. When we put the focus on making better human beings, better everything else just happens. We get better supply chain results. We get better capacity and capability in our shipyards and our shipbuilding. We get better build rates of our submarines and our aircraft carriers. We just get better. Let's continue to do it together. Congratulations to the Hampton Road Pipeline on your signing day. Congratulations to everybody that stood up. You're embarking on an amazing career, and I personally am jealous. Good luck out there. We need you, and remember, not today. Thank you.
Thank you, Master Chief. Please rise for the retrieval of the colors and the departure of the official party. Thank you all for coming. Please, on your way out, grab a gift bag, take the swag with you, and thank you all, and we'll see you next year.